Hi, Christina. I really like your idea on doing your speech on why textbooks at college should be free. With this topic, I'd really like to hear from someone that doesn't support that idea because all of us college students know the struggle behind how expensive textbooks are. I have my bachelor's degree in biochemistry, and so 4 years previously for me, buying science textbooks and lab manuals and all of that was excruciatingly difficult to deal with. And the fact that sometimes I wouldn't even use the textbook or barely use it compared to like nowadays we can look things up on Google or we have other help outside of it. I think you have a really good topic idea. One thing that you did mention in your video is how the cost of textbooks has risen over, I think it was like 1,000% since the 70s, which is absolutely insane. So going on with that, maybe you should talk about how the cost of schooling and living has also increased, but also how how living wages and everything haven't increased as much since the 70s. That might help to like kind of like compare and contrast like how expensive things are compared to, where the cost of a dollar is in this day and age and everything, because that kind of just shows people that like, sure, we all know like our grandparents bought a house back in the day for like $5,000, but like kind of, cost of wages and everything and how much a dollar is actually worth these days and why textbooks are so expensive would be something really nice to talk about. You mentioned using statistics, which I think is a really good idea. I think the more statistics you use, the better, because you can't really argue with numbers. Also, maybe an idea is giving a reason why textbooks cost so much. I know, or I've heard before that like the difference between editions in textbook, like third and fourth edition, sometimes could be as simple as like a picture change or like a caption added to a certain picture or rewording of like a review question at the end of a chapter. That might be something really interesting to look into to help support your speech, to be like, textbooks might be expensive because they cost more to make, even though no textbook costs over $700 to make. But maybe just mentioning like, oh, like the reason that companies like Pearson or something does big changes or addition changes to their textbook could be for something that's like not really needed in the long run, if you know what I mean. That might be something that just helps support your speech. Obviously, if you look into it and that's not what the case is, and it's like something that's like completely unrelated, then maybe that wouldn't help your speech, but it's just an idea. And then I also agree that providing real life examples, even using like people's testimonies off like Reddit or something like that, would really help, because all of us students have very, very strong feelings about the cost of textbooks. So I think that would really help in your speech in the long run too. But overall, I think you have a really good speech idea, and I wish you all the best. Good luck.